Hey guys, it's Will and Chris here to talk about your next exercise. It's your belief exercise. And this exercise is really important because we want you to examine your beliefs and then we want you to challenge them.
So the first part of the exercise, we're going to have you list down all of your beliefs.
Yeah, and we have so many of them, and sometimes it's hard to think, what are my beliefs? But we'd like you to come up with probably 20, 30 or more beliefs. So we want you to give it some thought. And a good way to kind of put it into context is you have beliefs about all aspects of your life. You have beliefs around relationships, religion, spirituality,
community stuff,
your career, money, success, life in general.
The way you should raise your kids.
Yeah. So we want you to get all that out. Just kind of have
let it all out. Purge.
A brain dump.
Purge.
Of, what are the truths that I hold dear? What are the things that I believe in? And just get it out on paper. And then we want you to actually go back and examine those beliefs, because what happens is most of our beliefs have started at a very early age, and we often hold on to them.
We've either learned them from a parent,
right,
or we've learned them from an experience.
And we often don't question them again. And the reality is that there's always evidence to support our beliefs, and there's always evidence to contradict our beliefs. And we tend to pull in the evidence that supports it and say, well, of course, that's why it is. I mean, you talk about God, and somebody can look at something that happens, the beauty of a tree, and say that's proof that God exists. And somebody else can look at that tree and say, well, that's not proof that God exists.
That's a bunch of cells that have come together through the process of evolution and created a tree.
Right, but we tend to grab onto the things that we think support our belief system.
And tend to repel those things that don't.
Exactly. And so because some of those things we've never really questioned, particularly when you start getting into beliefs, when you start getting into other aspects of things that were taught to you by your parents, sometimes you just assume that that's the way the world works.
Correct.
You probably heard things that your parents told you when you're young, like
green shirts are awful.
No,
never wear green.
No, you might hear something like money doesn't grow on trees. Right. Or you got to work hard for your money.
Unless you run an orchard, then money really does grow on trees.
Okay. I can't take him anywhere. But we have those beliefs, and is it really hard to make money? If you believe that, you're going to certainly have evidence to support that. But if you've ever been in sales and you say it's really hard to make a sale or it's really hard to make money, but sometimes something just kind of falls in your lap unexpectedly, and it's like, wow, that was easy. So that contradicts your belief, but yet you still hold on to the belief that it's hard to make money.
Right.
So we want you to examine your beliefs, kind of step 2 of this exercise, and then we're going to dig into those things that are really holding you back. And I'll give you an example of somebody that we worked with last class. We had a woman who was a social worker.
This is the one about money, right?
This is the one about money, exactly. We found out, and she admitted very freely up front that she had a really stigma around money and viewed money as bad. So her belief system was money was bad. And we kind of dug into where did that come from? And she said, it came from the fact when she was growing up, she had some adult in her life who was not a good person, but happened to be very rich. And so she associated all his bad attributes and his bad behavior around the fact that he had money. And she actually, I think that led her into her social working career, because she wasn't after money because she saw money as being bad. She came to us because she wanted something different. She wanted to actually start an organization that could help other people. And she realized to be successful, she had to re-examine her view on money, one of which was that she didn't like to charge money to people or charge enough money because, one, she didn't necessarily feel that her services were worth it, and two, she thought money was bad. And so she knew to be successful with this new organization, her limiting belief about money is bad was going to hold her back. And so we really had to dig into that whole belief system around money and reconstruct it. And it's I started to say it's easier said than done, but the reality is it can be as easy as or as hard as you make it. And we'll
Right.
talk a little bit more about that when we actually debrief
Right.
this exercise.
And the flip side is true also, Will. You can have beliefs such as having a positive mental attitude is going to affect how I approach people when I'm entering a conversation for the first time. That this is just, I know it's going to go well, I believe it's going to go well, and I believe in the goodness of this person that I'm going to have a conversation with.
Right. Versus I could have a belief system that people are out to get me, or I'm going to have a bad experience.
Mm-hmm.
And so I bring that into the room with me. So your belief systems around other people, about meeting strangers, about
Right. Don't talk to strangers.
and what did your parents say when you were little?
Never talk to strangers.
Don't talk to strangers. But did they ever say it's okay to talk to strangers
No,
when you got
they
older?
never did.
No. So now when you walk into a crowded room of strangers,
and you're trying to network,
it's not a good belief system to have.
You better be talking to strangers.
So we've got to change that belief system to, strangers are interesting people I want to meet,
right.
versus don't talk to them.
Right.
So yeah, all those things that, we don't even realize all the beliefs and truths that we hold on to,
right,
that we need to look at and see.
Unconsciously,
absolutely. And so that's what we're going to do with this exercise and how we debrief through this exercise. So give it a lot of thought, really think through all the things that are important to you, and, the good, the bad, the ugly, we want it all there so we can kind of dig into it and help move you forward.
Yep. I hope this helps.
Great.
Yeah. Look forward to talking to you later.
All right. Bye, guys.